just can't wipe this smile off of my face. The SPL is back and the SPL Show is back, and I'm glad to say that I'm joined today by two members of Singapore football who have been part of the Singapore Premier League for a very, very long time. Philippe Aw, former Hougang United and former Home United head coach. Shukor Zailan, League and Cup winner and former Singapore international as well, and they have been part of the journey for the opening weekend 6 months ago, but now we are back on the SPL Show and the restart edition, and we're really looking forward to this weekend with the upcoming matches. Philippe, did you ever think that we would see football back in Singapore in 2020?
You know, for a while I thought for sure, and then but as you know, the pandemic dragged on. I thought maybe the season will not restart. But I'm glad that, you know, we made moves and to put things in place, and yeah, we're going to see action this Saturday.
We saw a lot of great games in the opening 4 weekends of the SPL. Were you impressed with the quality early on, and how glad are you that we are going to see more football until the end of the year?
Yeah, of course. I'm very, very impressed with the teams that's playing at the beginning. I think the quality is good, the pace of the match is good, high intensity, entertaining of football, especially when you look at Tampines, Albrechts, and new teams like Tanjong Pagar making a comeback. You can see that they are trying to put pressure to these top teams in our league.
All right, so in case you have forgotten, let's look at the state of play. Let's look at the league table of how things stand at the moment. And as of the time of filming right now, we still do not know of the status of Brunei DPMM. So as of now, they are still included in the Singapore Premier League for the 2020 season. But the top two dominated by the eastern sides, Tampines Rovers and Geylang International. While on the other end of the table, Young Lions, well, they have struggled in the first 3 matches, still propping up the table with 0 points. Lion City Sailors will be hoping for better days. And Tanjong Pagar United in 7th position with only 2 points, but those 2 points came from gutsy displays against Lion City Sailors and Albrechts Niigata. Balestier Khalsa looking good in 4th position. Philippe, your thoughts on Tampines and Geylang? Did it come at the wrong time, this break? I know we are in a global pandemic, but from a whole footballing perspective, they were on top form. They had some real momentum about them going into the rest of the matches.
Yes, you know, when your team is doing well, playing well, you want to keep going. You know, because there's a momentum and you want to build on it. Yeah, for me, it came at the wrong time for them.
Yeah, and Shukor on the other side, Lion City Sailors, they have now taken this time. They've made a move in the transfer market. We'll get onto that a little later on, but opportunity for them to regroup, to, you know, familiarize themselves with Aurelio Vidma. Young Lions, I think 6 months, 7 months to grow as footballers, to grow as men as well. So a good time for them to reassess.
I think it's good, but at the same time also it might backfire, because I think this break is too long, I feel, and they have not been playing match at all, and they've only been training in small groups. I don't even think that they are even playing any friendly game, maybe internally between themselves. So I think to keep the team psyched throughout this whole period, it's definitely a challenge. But again, it usually comes down right to the players' mindset, whether or not you know, they want to win games, start winning games. Because by now, I'm very sure they are, you know, already gel with each other and they will understand each other better. So I hope that Lion City will bounce and show something in these games to come.
Philippe, your perspective as a former head coach, footballers, they need to be motivated. They need to have a goal in mind. And so it all stopped. We did not know what was going to happen. The footballers did not know what was going to happen. And then they started with Zoom trainings. Yeah. And then they got a little bit of motivation when they were allowed to train in groups of 5s. And then extra enthusiasm when full training started. And then now finally the restart. How tough would it have been for their coaches to keep the players motivated over 6-7 months?
Yeah, it's tough, you know, because it's not normal that you train in groups of 5. Yeah, you may do it 5v5, but you don't even get to do 5v5s. You only have 5 players maximum. We always want our players to be in the zone, you know, to be ready for competition. But with this pandemic and the restart, we are not sure when it drags on. So it's tough for the players. It's also tough for the coaches as well.
Yeah. All right, so 4 fixtures to look forward to, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. And two big ones, well, they're all big. There's the return of football, but two standout ones. Tanjong Pagar, first of all, up against Ballister Khalsa. The big one on Saturday is at our Tampines Hub. Tampines Rovers up against Hougang United. A rematch from the AIA Community Shield, which the Stags won by 3-0. On Sunday at Bishan, Lion City Sailors take on the Eagles of Geylang International. And Young Lions at Jurong West take on Albirex Niigata. And we have news that there have been some amendments to the laws of the game for the rest of the 2020 season. 5 substitutions are allowed to be made in every match. There will be water breaks, 2 in each half as well. So that's going to be good for the players and for the coaches to play around with the squads and rest players, because it's going to be hectic. I think a lot of matches to be played within a 2-month spell, about 11 weeks until mid-December. So 5 substitutions that in favour of that, Philip?
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, it's been a long time since they played games, we got to take into the account of the health of the players. Yeah, so I'm very, very sure that injuries will come into play.
Yeah.
And 5 subs it will be good, for the players to be able to recover, to be fresh for the next games. Yeah.
Explain to the people watching why players will be more susceptible to injuries now compared to they've been training throughout, but why when the restart happens they are more likely to pick up injuries in the opening weeks of action?
Yeah, so in the normal season we have pre-season, and in pre-season you get to put in all the physical work. You put in the 11v11s as well. But this period they've done Zoom training, they've done groups of 5s, and over the past month they've managed to just do 11v11s. But it's different. You do an internal game versus a friendly game against someone else. It's the intensity is different. So we're talking about now fully competitive. You go into a game wanting to win, you go in full 100%, whereas in trainings you will not get that kind of challenges.
Yeah.
So that's why injuries are a risk for the players.
You mentioned it earlier on. I mean, at least have the friendly matches, although the intensity isn't there compared to competitive football. But they haven't even had the friendly matches, and you're talking about clubs perhaps that have the big enough squad to play internal 11 versus 11. But some squads are not that big enough. They don't have the 22 players, so it's going to be difficult for the smaller squads to start competitive action. And do you think that for some of the teams it may take them 2 or 3 matches to get up to speed to their full potential?
Yes, I think definitely some of the teams will struggle because, like you said, some teams they have no depth, they have not even enough players to field 11 versus 11 internally. So probably they might use maybe their COE players to make up the numbers. And again, if you want to compete, we need intensity, we need pace, and we need physical challenge in the game itself. So if you fill in young players, I think for these senior and experienced players, they will take it as just like a training match.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even have some physical match going on there. So to come into a game with a mindset that if you're not 100% ready because you have been like slack in the past few weeks or months, then of course I think there'll be high risk of getting injury.
Also to confirm on the places available for AFC, the top-ranked local side will have direct entry to the AFC Champions League in 2021, while the second and third local place side will go direct entry as well to the AFC Cup. Direct entry to the AFC Champions League. I mean, that's what Aurelio Vidmar was thinking when he took over Lion City Sailors. A big chance for Gavin Lee, a young head coach, to prove his worth on the big regional stage. Noali, perhaps a carrot for him. So there must be something, for SCFFC, as they were known back then. They had 2 seasons in the Champions League. Shukor will know a lot about that. But now direct entry without the qualifiers, which is a very tough process, that's a big carrot for the local sides, isn't it?
Yes, it's an excellent thing, that we do not have to qualify now to go straight into the competition. Of course, maybe at the start we're going to struggle. Yeah, we may get hammered by the big teams, but as you play a few seasons and you get used to it, then we'll be competitive. Just look at JDT. Yeah. Initially they struggled as well, but now they are among the big teams there as well. Yeah, so that's definitely good for Singapore football, that our players, our Singapore coaches get to experience that kind of atmosphere. I think that's very important.
And if you're a player of one of the big sides that are challenging for the title, you want to win a league, but then next season you have the possibility of playing against some of the top names in local football, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think personally for me, I've experienced playing in the AFC Cup back then. I think with 3 different clubs, and I nearly signed with SCFFC when they are gonna play for the ACL, but I didn't went on to sign with SCFFC. So I feel that as a player, I think these are one of those tournaments that you want to go and represent the club and your country to play at this high level, because the quality is definitely much different. Because when I play for AFC games, the quality itself, the pace of the game is already 1 or 2 higher level than our local league.
Okay.
So I think when you play in ACL, bigger crowds, bigger stadiums, I think that will definitely motivate you as a player, not only to do well in the game, but also you might think about playing abroad in seasons to come. So I think this is a good opportunity for our league straight away advance to ACL.
Speaking about playing abroad, Brunei DPMM, we don't know as of now, of the time of filming, what the status of their participation for the rest of the season will be. Did you enjoy playing against Brunei DPMM? What value did they bring to the league?
Of course, with their participation, when we travel over to Brunei to play, it's really an away game. You go to the airport, you take the plane, you go to Brunei. There they have their own fans, and that's a atmosphere. That's a real away game, because in Singapore, being such a small city, it's not really an away game.
Yeah. What do you feel about Brunei DPMM? Did you enjoy those matches against them?
Well,
and is it a pity if the defending champions can't defend their title?
Yeah, I think it's a pity that if they are not able to carry on with the league, because I think they give that competitiveness in for all our local boys. So far, DPMM have good foreign signing, so it's a good lesson for our boys to compete with them. Because when we travel there, the atmosphere, like Philippe say, is different. You want to beat them on their home ground, so you feel that you want to compete with them and beat them there. It's something like pride or rivals going on there, although if you are not a rival with them. So I think it's definitely a waste if they can't continue playing in our SPL.
Yeah, I really love the atmosphere when I went there as a player, but also covering it as a commentator. The atmosphere is fantastic, a proper away game experience. All right, so the clubs have been busy throughout this, we'll call it break period, but as we enter the restart, they have made some signings. So let's have a look at some of the notable signings that these clubs have made throughout the period. And for Albirex Niigata, we'll mention the ones that have really stood out. And so Fairoz Hassan from Warriors FC has joined Albirex Niigata as one of their local players. Balestier Khalsa bringing in Yohangi, also from Warriors FC. By the way, Warriors FC looking to make a comeback in 2021. They've made that known on social media as well. For Geylang International, they have Singapore International Safirul Sulaiman to call on for the rest of the season, making the trip over from one changing room to the other, from Tampines to Geylang at OTH. Hougang United, Zaki Baliev, I think, was on the bench against Geylang International, but now official. Lionel Tan, back from National Service. Daniel Ong, an option in goal. And Emerick Ong from Warriors FC. And fun fact for both of you, he was part of the last game before the COVID break, because he was the pundit for the match between Tanjong, Pagar and Albirex Niigata. Good to see him part of the Hougang United squad. Lion City Sailors, that's the one, isn't it? Stipe Plazibat making the change from Hougang Stadium to Bishan Stadium, now a Sailor, for the second time, making the trip over to now be part of once Home United, now Lion City Sailors. Tampines Rovers, look at that, by Haki Kaizan from Prachuap from Thailand, now part of the Stags. And Fazrul from Hougang United, now part fitness coach, part player for Gavin Lee. Tanjong Pagar can call upon Zulkifli Hashim. He was from Warriors FC. And Young Lions can call upon Amirul Putra and Zamani Zamri, who is serving his national service, but under this dispensation now represents the Young Lions. Philippe, of course, he was part of Albirex Niigata last season. Whew, a lot to get through there. What's the standout one for you, Baihaki or Plazibat?
Stipe. Yeah, definitely. He's gone back to the club where he played his best football.
Okay.
Yeah. it came as a big surprise to me that Hougang actually let him go to their direct rivals. But Stipe will be the one that's going to fire up Lion City Sailors.
So you've coached Hougang and Home United. Plazibat has played at Home and Hougang United, but you never cross paths, only Sultan of Selangor.
Yeah, so when I was at Home, he was playing for Hougang.
Yeah.
And when I went over to Hougang, he went to Home.
Okay.
Yeah. But I had an experience to work with him, during the Sultan of Selangor Cup. Because I watched him play and I said he's a good player, and I wanted him to be part of the squad.
He's the top scorer in the league now. Scored already 5 goals for Hougang. We'll bring that over to Lion City Sailors. What are his qualities?
Oh, he can link up play and he can finish as well, So for me, Vidma will be very, very happy with him. Yeah, I think he's gonna change Lion City Sailors.
He played a lot on the right of Hougang United's attack last season. He came in central, but that's where he plays his best football, is it? Up top and being the main focal point.
Yeah, I think that's his best position, no doubt about it. Because in this season itself, I think there's not much striker who is like a main man at the front. So players like Plazibat, I think he holds the ball very well. He link up play very well. He didn't even create for himself, but he created for the others around him. So I think he has very good chemistry going on with the attacking players, and this provide good football also for himself. And I think when it comes to finishing, I think his finishing is quite little and always accurate. So yeah, I think it'd be nice to see what he has to give to Lion City Sailors this coming match. Of course, I'm looking forward because I think when we watched the first few games of Lion City Sailors, Andrew Pangeli was quite a disappointment, to be honest. But I think maybe he's new in SPL, first time in Singapore, compared to Plazibat. He has played for a few seasons already. So maybe there's a difference that we're looking at. Just that. I think other than that, I think Plazibat, I think he will give good depth and good intensity to the game.
Andy Pangeli released by mutual consent with Lion City Sailors back in Australia, and then he's representing his former club. There, I'll stay with you for Tampines Rovers, 2 players that you know very, very well. What will Baihaki give that defense that's already strong for Gavin Lee? And Fazrul on the other end, another attacking option. I think it's fair to say Kopitovic will be the number 1 striker for Tampines, but if they need goals, they have a Singapore international in the wings waiting for some action.
I think Fazrul is very versatile, and as we all know, Fazrul is like the hardest working player in the team. Whichever club that he's playing, we know he's very disciplined. He will extra for the team. He will stay behind to do extra trainings and all. So I think even if he's not put as a first main man at the front, he can play on the wings, left or right. He gives good defensive to the team as well. So I think despite his age, him and Baihaki, they will give good good flow to the game. We shouldn't say that they can't play anymore. I would think that they still provide good intensity to the game. Of course, it will also guide the younger players. That's all I can say.
They're already a young squad, Tampines, but it's good to have some experienced heads in terms of Fazrul and Baihaki to just stabilize the ship when things get a little bit iffy in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with fixtures now, coming thick and fast.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you're gonna rest like Daniel Burnett.
Yeah.
He can't play all the games. So I'm pretty sure some of the games he'll be rested, and Baihaki can take over. So it's definitely these 2 experienced pros, coming to the team. It's gonna help Tampines. Yeah.
I think Daniel Bennett and Baihaki Kaizan have a combined age of like 80 or something like that, but plenty of experience in the back. Let's talk about Geylang International. Safirul Sulaiman, is that a good acquisition for them?
It's too early to tell for me because I think I've last seen him play probably when he's playing in Lions 12.
Yeah.
So I really do hope that he is still a talent to watch out for, because like I said, the last game that I knew of him was from Lions 12. So after that, probably I think he served national service or something like that, or went out injured.
Yeah, he struggled with injuries.
Yes, so I think form might be an issue here. So I really do hope that with this transfer to Geylang International, maybe he will have more playing time, and he can build himself again from there.
Yeah, last year was almost like a write-off for him at Tampines Rovers, struggling with injury. Got himself really back fit. He did make some appearances off the bench, but may perhaps struggle to get into a Tampines side. Maybe more chance with Noor Ali.
Yeah, definitely. Noor Ali will know him well.
Yeah.
Because he was with Noor Ali and Hasrin Jelani back then. So yeah, Noor Ali will raise his game.
Speaking of Hasrin Jailani, how about this interesting piece of news? Hairi Swap has resigned as head coach of Tanjong Pagar United days before the restart. How unsettling would that be? Hasrin Jailani will be the caretaker coach until the end of the season, and that's why I mentioned Hasrin. But I mean, timing is very peculiar on this one.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Hasrin has been working hand in hand with Hairi.
Yeah.
So to Hasrin to take over, and you got Noor Alamsyah there as well. So I think they're okay, you know. Of course, with Hairi leaving, of course, it's going to leave a gap there in the coaching department. But I think it's Hasrin and Alamsyah can stabilize the ship.
Will it impact the players in any way, because they've been training together? He's been leading the charge during this whole COVID pandemic, and then days before the season starts, he's resigning. And for non-footballing reasons, I think he's going to pursue other interests as well. So it's not a move to another football club or anything like that. I think it's very much a personal reason for him. But is that going to be unsettling for the squad?
Well, I think professionally speaking, for players, right? I think if you are a player, it doesn't matter who is a coach, who takes over the team. You want to give your best. You want to impress whoever is taking charge of the team. So I would think because when beginning of the season, most of the instructions come from Hasrin.
Yeah.
When I notice during the games, and Noor Alamsyah as well. So I think players might not be awkward with Hasrin, and I think they can give their best, although he is so-called assistant coach. And of course, I think Hasrin has a good record of developing players, young players, and to give better quality in the game itself. So I think it's gonna be okay. Yeah.
Hasrin was a former Geylang international head coach as well, and he was working with Noor Ali back in the day. So he has experience, of course, and all the best to Hasrin and Tanjong Pagar United. All right, let's have a look at the fixtures coming up this weekend once again, and we can talk through a little bit about what we can expect from these matches. The big one on Saturday is Tampines Rovers taking on Hougang United. Philippe, you were there with me for the AIA Community Shield 3-0 to Tampines. What do you expect from this one?
I think it will be Tampines again. They've made good signings, and for me, the key player for them is Boris, the striker. What he has brought to them is the physicality to be able to for Tampines. We know Tampines like to play build up, from the back and things like that. And what's going to happen is that Hougang will go and try and stop them there. But the thing is, Tampines now have an option to play long.
Yeah.
And Boris is strong enough, to hold on to play. He can go on his own, and the thing is, he can finish. So,
and that link up with Jordan Webb. You talk about Boris. Webb has 3 goals and 3 assists this season so far. Like, that combination was lethal, and it was either both of them setting each other up at one point in the first couple of games. You looking forward to that partnership again?
Yeah, I do. Because the last match that we watched, Tampines and Lion City, the game that Lion City got hammered, I think it's very interesting, very entertaining game. The combination play between Boris and Jordan Webb plus Mehmedovic and the Japanese guy, I forgot his name. Nakamura, yeah. So it's very entertaining. So I can't wait to see them restarting the game this Saturday.
Philippe, at Jurong East is Tanjong Pagar up against Balestier Khalsa. I would say 2 solid teams, well set up. Draw written all over that one.
But I think Tanjong Pagar has a long-term injury with their striker.
Yeah, well, he's almost on the way back, but I think it will be a bit too soon for him to make that return.
I think it's going to be a big miss. Because he is their key player. Again, a good striker who can hold on to the play and bring others into the game. We all know about Balestier, how Marco likes to play his football. It's gonna be a tight game because both teams are well set up Coaches can fire the players up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think draw most likely.
Okay, so Sunday, the big one, Lion City Sailors up against Geylang International. Really looking forward to this one. Plazibat, back here with Lion City Sailors. Geylang International, second in the table. Are we looking at a very open game this coming match?
Well, I hope this time around, Lion City Sailors will convert those moves into goals, because, like I said in 6 months ago, they have the build-up nicely done, but they just can't finish, which is quite unfortunate. So I really do hope that this time with Plazibat around, those moves that they are always doing in the game, it will convert into a goal. And Geylang, like I said, they are also building their momentum again, same for Lion City Sailors. I would expect an open play, more entertaining game.
I think both sides have such good attack, both ends of the pitch. So really looking forward to that one. Young Lions up against Albirex Niigata, final game on Sunday at Jurong West. It's going to be tough for Young Lions against Albirex Niigata.
Yeah, let's not forget Young Lions is a developmental side. A lot of the players have never tasted, professional football. A lot of them were in the COE system, and this year is like a real step up. And we know that they are a developmental side. We need to give them time. Yeah. I think what's most important is at the end of the day, we have a crop of players that come out through this system that will be able to play in the national team in the future. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much, Shukor and Philippe, for joining us on this special restart edition of the SPL Show. Looking forward to hearing from both of you as the season progresses until mid-December. So we're going to have a great, big, fun party at all the stadiums. Really looking forward to it. I still had a smile on my face, by the way. The SPL is back. We'd like to thank 42, by the way, for furnishing our set. For all your furnishing needs, go to 42.sg. That's it from us. Enough jibber jabber. The action starts on Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the screen and joining us for the matches. Until then, this is the SPL Show. We will see you next week.